Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining this session. I'm Karan and I'm here to introduce you to ToolJet 3.0. ToolJet 3.0 is a significant upgrade that's going to change the way you build, manage, and deploy internal tools. For this release, we have kept a close eye on the feedback from our end users and active community and prioritized the most impactful changes. Our app builder is now 10 times faster than before. It comes with a redesigned grid system that allows you to create complex UIs with pixel perfect precision. Workflows is now out of beta and ready for production use. We have added more than 15 new integrations, enhanced AI capabilities, and added a range of more enterprise grade security features. We have also fully revamped ToolJet database to make it more suitable for complex use cases. I'll walk you through all the key updates related to the app builder and workflows. Then, Aman will take over to talk about new integrations, AI capabilities, enterprise grade security features, and ToolJet database. So let's jump right in with our first big upgrade, which is app builder performance. As mentioned before, we have optimized our architecture and reduced app loading times to make ToolJet 10 times faster than before. We have changed the way our app builder processes and displays data, particularly when dealing with large datasets and complex applications. To put this in perspective, loading times in some of our most data heavy apps have gone down from several seconds to milliseconds. Let's look at the performance upgrades in action in an application with over 20,000 rows of data. Here, the table component works virtually lag free despite of such a heavy data set. Let's look at one more example. Here we have a loan processing application which has 20 queries that fetch data and over 1200 components. Let's see how it performs in preview mode. As you can see, we have multiple containers here, and each container has a tab component with multiple tabs. And we are easily able to navigate throughout the application without any lag. Now let's look at the new grid system. The new grid system allows you to place your components exactly where you want without worrying about unintentional gaps or alignment issues. As you can see, the look and feel of the app builder after integrating the new grid system is very similar to tools like Figma that allows you complete control over the placement of your elements. Let's now move on and talk about the new page management system. The new page management system comes with a range of new styling options, allowing you to fully customize your navigation bar. Now, you can also define whether you want to make the navigation bar collapsible, whether you want to display only text, text with icons, or only icons. Let's look at a preview of the current page setting. As you can see, our page menu is now collapsible and is displaying an icon and text as defined by us earlier. Now let's go back to our app builder and look at the new query panel. Now when you select a query, you can see three tabs. The setup tab allows you to define your query. The transformation tab allows you to transform the return data. And the settings tab allows you to control general settings like triggers and events. The preview panel is also collapsible. Now you can minimize it or expand it based on your requirement. And we have not stopped there. We have added a range of new customization options to your components so that you can tailor them exactly as per your application requirements. Now let's move on and talk about our next big update, which is ToolJet workflows. ToolJet workflows is finally out of beta and ready to automate your critical business processes. You can use ToolJet workflows to automate complex data processing tasks, reduce manual work, or even perform AI-based operations like natural language processing and intelligent decision making using our AI integrations. One of the most useful additions to ToolJet workflows is the loop node functionality. The loop node functionality allows you to perform iterative process automation. For example, let's say you have a query that fetches employee data, followed by a query that filters out data from the original list. Now, if you want to send an SMS or email notification to each employee in the filtered list, you can use the loop node functionality. You can combine the loop node functionality with a service like Twilio or SendGrid to send a notification. The loop node essentially iterates over each item in your datasets and performs the configured operation. You can use it with your data sources, APIs, and third-party services for sequential processing. We have also improved our error handling and debugging capabilities. Now, when you select a node, you can get a precise view on each node execution. In the input tab, you can see the values that are passed to a particular node. And in the output tab, you can see the values that are generated after a particular node has been executed. And in the logs tab, you can see the time of execution and whether the node is successfully executed or not. In case of an error, you can easily identify the node that is failing and make the required adjustments. Another feature of Node that we have added to ToolJet workflows is webhook triggers. With webhooks, you can trigger your workflows from external applications. This allows you to perform event-driven automation and connect with your favorite tools and external services. And we have not stopped there. You can now configure multiple result nodes to fully configure the output of your ToolJet workflows. As you saw in the demo, ToolJet Workflows is now out of beta and is packed with a range of new functionalities to make business process automation simple and effective. Up next, Aman will take over and he will talk about the new integrations that we have added to ToolJet in the past few months.
Thank you for the handover, Karan, and thank you for the amazing demo of ToolJet 3.0 so far. Hey everyone, I'm Aman, and I'm going to be walking you through the next few segments focusing on ToolJet 3.0's newly added integrations, updates to organizational management, security, and ToolJet database. So we're going to start off with integrations. I know a lot of you have been waiting for it. We're just going to cover the key ones here. On the AWS front, we have brought in AWS Lambda and Redshift. If you're already using AWS, you're absolutely going to love this. It's as simple as just connecting your AWS account. Once you have your connection set up, you can directly call your Lambda functions and access your Redshift data warehouse within your ToolJet applications. A lot of you have been asking about better integrations with CRMs and project management softwares. So we've brought in Salesforce and Zira into the mix. Now, if you want to build custom sales dashboards or if you want to build a custom project tracker, you can build all of that within your ToolJet apps. If you want to find an exhaustive list of all the integrations that are available in ToolJet 3.0, you can head over to our website tooljet.com/integrations and you can find out an exhaustive list of all the integrations that are available. If I quickly have to show a quick demo on what this looks like, you can just log in into your ToolJet app. You can navigate to your data sources and you can click on adding a data source. This is going to be as simple as entering your access key and your secret key. and you should be good to go. Once you have your connection set up, you can just call in these queries within your apps and access the data present within your data sources. Now let's talk about something really exciting, our new AI capabilities. We have integrated with 3 powerful platforms, OpenAI, Pinecone, and Portkey. With Portkey integration, you now have access to over 200 different AI models. Think of Portkey as an AI Swiss Army knife. Whatever your use case is, there's probably an AI model for that. With the support of Portkey, whether you need to analyze data, generate content, or enhance existing customer interactions, generate content or enhance existing content, Portkey has got you covered. We've also integrated with OpenAI, bringing their powerful language processing right within your ToolJet apps. If you want to add features like text summarization, content generation, or even image generation, it's just ToolJet has got you covered. With Pinecone integration, you can build sophisticated search and recommendation features. You can store and generate vector embeddings to build smart context-aware search capabilities. I'm going to show you a quick demo of what is possible with our new integration with Portkey. This is an AI model comparison app, which is simultaneously going to query 3 different AI models. So I'm going to add a system prompt here, which is going to be UPix computers. I'm going to add a system prompt here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a user prompt. My laptop won't turn on. So what this is going to do is it's simultaneously going to query 3 different models so that we can compare which of the models is the most responsive and which of the models actually gives us the most accurate responses. This is just a quick example and a very small example of what is possible within the new AI integrations that ToolJet 3.0 brings in. Let's talk about security. I know this is crucial for many of you running ToolJet in production. With ToolJet 3.0, we brought some major improvements to security, access control, and org management. Starting off with secret constants. Think of secret constants as a secure vault for your sensitive information like your database passwords and your API keys. Here's how it works. Instead of directly hard-coding these values within your apps, you store them as secret constants. These values are encrypted, are resolved on the server side, are access controlled, and are completely hidden from the end user. To show you a quick demo of how this would look like in action, I'm going to navigate to the workspace constants page, and I'm going to click on the create new constant button. I'm going to enter a constant name here. I'm going to call this one as open underscore AI underscore key. I'm going to mark it as a secret, and I'm going to enter my key here. Again, this can be anything. I'm going to add the constant here. So once I navigate here, I can see my key is successfully here. So I'm just going to copy this from here. And to show you how this plugs into your data source, I'm quickly going to navigate to our data source page. And I can use it across my data sources. I can use it within my app and within my queries as well. So within the API key, instead of using a hard-coded API key, I'm going to use secrets dot, and I'm going to paste the key of our secret here. So the values are not shown here, but these values will be resolved on the server side. One use case that I wanted to highlight here was, let's say you're connecting to different Postgres databases across your dev, staging, and production environments. You can essentially create a secret across different environments and use the same secret within your data sources as well. Both the secrets and the data sources give you the ability to configure environment-specific values. So when you promote your app, these values are automatically going to map. ToolJet handles all the secure resolution in the backend. This also saves you a lot of time when you have to rotate your passwords. You just need to update the constants once. All your connections and queries will stay intact while being secure. So I'm going to head over to my data sources, and I'm going to modify one of my connections here to my Postgres. And instead of using the password from here, I'm just gonna click here and I'm gonna use secrets dot, I'm gonna paste this here. And instead of hard coding the password here, I'm gonna use this as a secret. I'm gonna click on save here. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest of the environments as well in my data sources. To show you how this looks like in action, I'm gonna head over to the app that utilizes this data source. So here is an app which has a Postgres query that just fetches the users. The thing to note here would be every time I promote the environment, the users are going to change here because this is going to use a different set of credentials based on the secrets and the creds that we've set up. So every time when I'm going to promote this from development to staging, the users are going to change here. Perfect. Let's talk about predefined roles. We've brought in admin, builder, and end user as default predefined roles. This helps with a precise but easier to understand access control. Every user must be part of one of these three predefined user roles. This helps understanding the role of the user both from authorization as well as from a licensing point of view. Introduced groupsync OIDC. What that means is for our customers who use single sign-on as a mode of authentication, you can also sync your user groups in ToolJet from your IDP. This eliminates the needs to manage your team within ToolJet and specifically allows them to be controlled from your IDP. To set this up, you need to navigate to the Workspace Login tab. You need to click on the OpenID Connect. You need to have the OpenID Connect set up. Once you click on that, you can navigate to the group sync. You need to enter a claim name here. This is the configuration that would be handled on your IDP side. How this mapping works is that you can map a group. Let's say there's a group called leads in your IDP. You can map that to a group called admin, which exists within ToolJet. It's worth noting here that all these changes are reflected only when a user logs in and logs out. When the user signs up with the OIDC, they'll automatically be added to the user groups in ToolJet. If a user team changes, I can make that change in my IDP and it will reflect the next time the user logs into ToolJet. The point to note here is that a change in groups is reflected only when a user logs in. To reduce the difference in this action and to make sure the sync is closer between the IDP role and the ToolJet, you can configure a shorter session duration from your environmental variables for all self-hosted users. For our cloud users, we've given an option to reduce the session duration to a minimum of 12 hours. And that is it. With OIDC Group Sync, you can now seamlessly manage your team and their access control across all your products from a centralized source in your IDP. To top this all off, we've also introduced an API which allows you to interact with the ToolJet platform programmatically through an endpoint to manage user details and permissions easily, giving you more control on how you want to manage your team on ToolJet. Firstly, let me tell you about the exciting updates to ToolJet database. This has been one of the most requested features, and we've made it even better. We have added support for custom primary and foreign keys, allowing you to build complex data structures right within ToolJet. We've also added support for SQL mode, allowing you to write complex SQL queries for data retrieval. In case you're someone who prefers using the GUI mode, we've added advanced querying capabilities that I'm going to demo in a while. We've also added more column data types. To show you how we can build relational tables within ToolJet, I'm going to go ahead and create a new table. I'm going to call it customers. I'm going to add an email here, and I'm going to make sure I keep them as character strings. And I would make sure that I keep the ID as the primary key. I'm going to go ahead and click create this table. I can go ahead, create another table called orders. I can keep this as order date. We've also added support for this new column, which is called date with time. I'm also going to add one more column, which is going to be the customer ID. This is going to be our foreign key relation to the other table. I'm going to go ahead and click on the add relation button. I'm going to go ahead and select the column as customer ID. I'm going to target the customers table, and I'm going to target the primary key column here. Once I've set these up, I can set up what should happen to the source table when the target table is modified. I can restrict actions. I can make sure that the actions cascade down to the source table as well. I'll go ahead and for now, I'll just keep it on restrict, and I'll create the table here. I click on create. We successfully created a table with a foreign key relation. To show you a quick demo of how we can use a SQL mode, I'm going to head over to my app builder, and I'm going to add a query with ToolJet database as source. And within the query panel, I'm going to select the SQL mode from here. This is standard PostgreSQL, and when I run it, this is going to return me the results from SQL. I can also write much more complicated SQL here. For example, I can write select country count as user count from users group by country. When I run it, this should return me the result that I want. Apart from this, we've also added advanced querying capabilities within our GUI mode. We've added aggregate, we've added group by, we've added filter, we've added sort, we've added a limit, and we've added an offset as well. And these are some of the things that we've added. We've also added the capabilities to join tables. So now you should be able to, if I select a table which has a foreign, which is a relational table, what I can do is I can select the users table here, and I can select on which of the columns this should join. We can also add a separate join here altogether. This is all the updates on the ToolJet side. Back to you, Karan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aman. And now, before we move ahead and look at what's next after ToolJet 3.0, we want to take a pause and thank our active community. Thanks to our community, we now have over 600 contributors and 32,000 stars on GitHub. We also want to give a huge shout out to our Slack community for providing active feedback and continuous support. Thanks to your feedback and support, we have been able to refine ToolJet and make it the best possible internal tool builder for you. Thank you so much for being such an essential part of this journey. And now let's look at what's next after ToolJet 3.0. ToolJet 3.0 has been a major milestone when it comes to speed, performance, and scalability, and we will continue to focus on these areas and make ToolJet even better. Apart from that, we will be working on modules so that you can reuse your components and queries. We will also be adding the ability to organize your queries and pages into folders for easier project management. For workflows, we will be adding schedule triggers. And finally, we are working on a host of new AI capabilities for our upcoming releases. And that brings us to the end of our session. ToolJet 3.0 is now live and ready for you to explore. So whether you are new to ToolJet or an experienced user, we invite you to try the new features of ToolJet and see for yourself how it can fast-track your internal tool development process. As always, we look forward to your feedback, so feel free to connect with us on Slack or drop us an email at hello@tooljet.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this session. We hope you build something amazing with ToolJet 3.0.